Righto.
Or left toe.
All right. What are we going to do?
What do you mean what are we going to do? We already started recording.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you guys.
Pose your question.
If you can only pick one between one or the other, whose movies do you want forever? Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey?
Hold on. Don't do nothing.
What do you mean don't do nothing? It's a show. We got to keep going. The show must go on.
That's right. Showbiz, my friend.
I'm not plugged in.
Oh, well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Okay, there you go.
No,
why does it sound like there's a vibrator?
What now?
The lawnmower's plugged in.
The lawn mowing vibrator or something.
Oh, you're talking about the air conditioner. That's extremely loud. Yeah, I know.
Oh, is that what that is?
Using a single-engine airplane.
I just thought Julie was trying to get some personal energy.
Hey.
Anyway, so, all right, sorry, here, I'll turn off the air conditioner.
What was the Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey. If you could only choose between, and that's all you could get for the rest of your life, Jim Carrey movies or Adam Sandler movies.
You know, I was just thinking about what was the one where he was in charge of the movie theater?
Oh, the Majestic.
The Majestic.
Majestic.
Yeah,
and
the Majestic.
And the Andy Kaufman movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that in the car yesterday. And
Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
Well, if I had, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'd have to go with Jim Carrey as much as I'm wincing here in my chair.
Why are you wincing in your chair?
Because, I don't know, the first Pet Detective was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like the CGI adaptation from Bob Zemeckis of The Christmas Story, the Ebenezer Scrooge movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did like that for the most part. And like I said, the two movies I just mentioned earlier. So, and then Adam Sandler, I don't have a connection with him.
See, my headache is, here's where my headache is. Because there's one you didn't mention. It's probably my favorite Jim Carrey movie, which is Liar Liar.
Okay,
I'm caught in and out of that. I never saw that movie in its entirety.
Okay, that's probably why. That's probably him at his best.
Yes, I have to agree with you on that.
He's very, very good at that. And then, you get Cable Guy.
Oh, remember when friends and I we all saw Cable Guy in the theater together, and we were like, "What the heck did we just watch?" I was like,
yeah, but it is. I will admit that even to this day, if I end up going out to Medieval Times, I will ask them for a fork or a Pepsi. I will even to this day. It's really funny. The last time I did, they're like, "Yeah, we get the joke. Shut up." They were not happy about it
about the fork joke, yeah.
Yeah, about the fork joke and the Pepsi thing. They were like, yeah, we have Pepsi. You don't get a fork. Shut up. Go away.
What about you, Ivan?
Okay, as much as I would like Adam Sandler, I think I'll gravitate more towards Carrey because he's, for me, his history on the television show, and
there's that too, isn't there?
Well, yeah, In Living Color, that's TV. That's not movies. That doesn't count.
Yeah, that's what I don't think it matters. Well,
I'm looking at it from the point of view of his career, overall in his career, and I think Jim Carrey, for me, had more mileage than I would say Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler, for me, is kind of an acquired taste and depends from movie to movie because the fact that Adam Sandler could be stupendous in one movie, but then he could be raunchy in the next. He could be raunchy lousy in the next three. He's not consistent. When Jim Carrey was on top of his game, he was always consistently coming up with different things and different types of premises and stuff like that. See,
plus you get The Mask.
Oh yeah, The Mask.
You get The Mask with Jim Carrey too.
Yeah, and Batman Forever was just okay.
Right. You get that.
See, Adam Sandler tends to be he suffers from Will Smith syndrome, where Adam Sandler is Adam Sandler in every movie.
Oh, that's different though. Like like Adam Sandler was
Jim
different in like The Wedding Singer.
Well,
Jim
in The
Carrey's
Wedding
kind
Singer-
of.
Like there's Little Nicky, and then there's The Wedding Singer. So he's capable of serious roles.
Yes, he is. See,
And was it he adopted the kid? There was another semi-serious role he did.
Right.
Where he was the divorced guy with the young kid.
Right.
Didn't he do a movie with Jack Nicholson? Some serious movie too? Hold on, I'll have to look.
Was that Anger Management?
Yeah. That's funny. Now I'm looking at Jim Carrey's list of movies. Okay, I forgot about The Truman Show.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about Bruce Almighty.
Right.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty was all right.
Yes Man is kind of underrated.
But like I said, it seems like with Jim
Dumb and Dumber. We totally forgot Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
See, because with Jim Carrey, you got a differentiation in each movie. Okay, now can Jim Carrey carry a serious role? Not so much. Not like Adam.
Well,
yes, he can.
Oh yeah,
I think he can.
I'd say reverse of that.
You can empathize with him or sympathize.
Okay.
I don't know what the word is.
Maybe I didn't see those movies. Maybe that's why the absence of it in my conversation. But as far as like Adam Sandler movies, it's just like when you're trying to get Chevy Chase to say, "Oh, I could do comedy," but yet when they put me in a serious role, can you take him seriously?
I didn't realize that Jim Carrey was in Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, he was one of the aliens. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess get this. Did you know Jim Carrey was in Deadpool? The Dirty Harry film?
The Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
I think it was the last. That was the last Dirty Harry.
And he was in another Clint Eastwood movie, like The Pink Cadillac. I mean, I'm like looking at this. I'm like, there's some movies here that I'm like, I didn't know Jim Carrey was in that, or was in that. Like, there's some other stuff here. Like, I'm looking. He was in Peggy Sue Got Married, really?
Yes, he was.
Okay. He was in Kick-Ass
Oh,
too?
no, he was a Once
Did
Bitten.
I miss that?
I remember watching Once Bitten
Right, I remember
on cable.
Once Bitten. Yeah, because there were half-naked girls.
You got to see some pubes.
Yeah,
yes.
That was that. And then Dick and Jane's not bad either, in fairness.
Right, in fairness, no, it wasn't bad. See, this is what I'm saying. As far as for my mileage, yeah, I'd have to go with Jim Carrey against Adam Sandler. Sandler.
Well, I'm pulling up Adam Sandler movies now. I'm curious what I'm thinking about. Because, like, for example, off the top of my head, I really don't want to lose Happy Gilmore. I really don't.
No, I don't want to lose Happy Gilmore because I liked Happy
And
Gilmore.
Waterboy.
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 I heard he's fabulous in Uncut Gems, and that's like a serious role for him.
Did anybody see the Sonic movie?
No, I did not.
As Mr. Robotnik?
No, I did not.
Okay.
See, this is where it's funny. Like, for example, there are a lot of people that love Billy Madison. I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of Grown Ups. Big Daddy was cute.
Yeah, that's the one, Big Daddy.
Waterboy, 50
Little
First
Nicky,
Dates
was he in Airheads?
Airheads?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Airheads, oh my god, I'd have to lose Airheads. What would I do? That's not good.
Oh, righty then.
Mr. Deeds, The Longest Yard, the remake Longest Yard. The Chuck and Larry ain't bad.
And I like watching 8 Crazy Nights. I got to be in a mood though.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is if I choose Jim Carrey forever, I can never sing the Hanukkah song ever again.
Oh yeah.
Well, wasn't that from Saturday Night Live first before it went to the movie?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Gesundheit, Ivan.
Sorry, yeah, exactly.
But I'm still based on what I'm looking at here. I'm still leaning towards Jim Carrey.
I would agree. I think we'd all agree.
Yeah, no, I think we're there. I think that's the deal. Just like, it was funny, I don't know if you guys caught it, I put this on our Facebook page, and we kind of got some
Facebook, what's that?
Reaction. Our Facebook page?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have one of those.
Yeah.
About choose your combination. That's
a lot of combinations.
Yeah, seriously. We'll see if Ivan's head explodes.
Okay.
Here's your choices. Here's your choices for chips, Ivan.
Okay.
Lay's, Pringles, Cheetos, Doritos, Ruffles. Okay.
Okay.
Here's your soda choices. Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Coke, Sprite, Sunkist, A&W, Dr. Pepper, and I don't know what idiot's going to choose water. But okay. And then...
No RC?
No RC. And then, for candy, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Hershey's, Skittles, Kit Kat, Gummy Bears, and Sour Patch.
Okay. Well, Pepsi, Doritos, and Gummy Bears.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Pepsi and Doritos is like a golden combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for candy, I'd have to go with Kit Kats.
Okay. I like the Gummy Bears because, I just like Gummy Bears. I mean, next to, if Tootsie Rolls was part of that mix, I would have gone with Tootsie Rolls.
All right, but unfortunately that's not listed.
You see, it's not on the list, so...
No, I know.
Not on the list.
Not on the list.
Not on the list. All right.
Yeah, what is with people who, when they see stuff that's not on the list, that they decide they're just going to pick any old thing anyway?
Right. No, I didn't pick any old thing anyway.
No, not you. Other people. Like, when you post this stuff on Facebook, they're like, well, I'm going to choose this instead. Is that on the list? No, I don't care. What?
Yeah, because...
It's like, what the...
Yeah, and they're like, what the...
Anarchy!
I don't know. If it's me, I gotta tell you, any chance that I could get my hands on some Pringles is good stuff. I like some Pringles. Give me the A&W root beer and give me some Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
That's a good idea.
I'm good. I'm good.
That's a nice mix, yeah.
That would totally be my B set.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah, my B set's probably Doritos. My B set would probably be Doritos, Mountain Dew, Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not big on the Gummy Bears and the Sour Patch and the Skittles.
I'm not for chewy. Unless it's like Starburst or maybe Tootsie Rolls. I'm not much for chewy candy.
See, okay, if we're gonna go off topic, I'm looking at this going, what? No fucking Snickers, no
Three Musketeers,
no M&Ms,
no Mounds bars,
right? None of that stuff. No, I was kind of shocked. The only other one I was gonna mention is, I think Mike saw it on my page about the list of for you pick your fry choices, and even then, with 9 choices, people were like, nope, I don't think so.
What, the French fries?
Yeah, which fries would you take?
Yeah. So they had 9. Now, in fairness, some for example, here, I'll give you an example. 8 is Whataburger. Do we even have Whataburger around here?
I don't think there isn't one around here.
Yeah, see, that's problematic. And I don't think we have a Checkers anymore.
We have one in Chicago.
Do we now? Okay.
Yeah, we have one in Chicago on Grand and Milwaukee. But yeah, that's Grand and Milwaukee. Listen to me, North Avenue and Grand.
Yeah, that might be the last one in the area.
That's the last one in the area because.
But yeah,
is that on the west side? Is that west of 90?
North Avenue and Grand.
Is that west or east of 90?
That's I think that's west of 90.
Yeah, because we get off on North Avenue to take my sister back to her apartment. So,
right,
in the big city.
Yeah. So here are the 9, Ivan. And obviously you heard a couple. The first one is Chick-fil-A. 2 is McDonald's. 3 is Arby's. 4 is Wendy's, 5 is Burger King, which is a fucking joke. Yeah. 6 is Five Guys, 7 is Steak and Shake, 8 is Whataburger, and 9 is Checkers.
Okay, having eaten all of them except for Whataburger, okay, let's see. I would have to say when they're hot and they come out of the fryer.
Well, assuming they're at their best.
Right,
Yeah,
if they're
assuming at their best.
Okay, then that would be McDonald's. That's an easy choice for me.
Really?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I mean,
They got that shit down pat. All 239 chemicals in it. I don't care. It tastes awesome.
I mean, they're just the French fries. I mean, but especially when you get them hot off the fryer, you ask them, and that's the clue too. If you ever go to the drive-thru, just say off the fryer, and then they'll give you the ones right off the fryer, because a lot of people don't know that if you want the French fries, you say off the fryer.
A little bit of inside baseball here with Ivan's McDonald's choices here.
Well,
off menu.
I used to work for McDonald's.
I always heard there was a secret menu too, like there's secret menu items.
Secret menu.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing about the secret menu items. Okay, here, let me give you some inside track on the McDonald's thing. Then we'll revert back to the French fry thing. But when I worked at McDonald's in the 70s, yeah, I'm aging myself.
Wasn't last week?
No, it wasn't last week.
Okay,
I wish it was.
I wish the 70s was last week.
Yeah, I'm in my 60s.
Yeah,
and 60s are even further than that. But all I can say is, when you go ahead and you ask for a menu order, okay, first off, the myth about them getting pissed off if you don't want something is just that, a myth. Because sometimes you'll get people, oh, well, I don't want a pickle, or I don't want this. And a lot of people won't change the order because people are afraid that you're going to jazz up the system that they have if you ask for a special order. It's not true.
Is that no, when I say this, I'm not talking about special order. I'm talking like secret items on like the menu that they like supposedly don't tell anybody that you can supposedly order.
Yeah, like foie gras or something like that.
Oh no, you could get what they call you can get like a you could go you can get a McPounder.
Tell us what you can get.
You get a McPounder. You know what a McPounder is, right?
No.
It's
like a McFister?
Well, it's a McPounder. A McPounder is just a Max, a Big Mac, but with quarter pounder meat. And you can get a McPounder, okay?
Wow. I feel my veins clogging as I...
Oh my God, I gotta try that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I gotta try that.
So, yeah, get yourself a McPounder, or, like I said, you could get,
it sounds so wrong.
No, it sounds wrong, but it tastes delicious. Shit, we used to make
McPounder. I don't even know her.
So anyway, so we used to come up with concoctions after hours when I worked at McDonald's. I mean, everybody talking about the Johnsonville brats. We were doing that in 1976, man. We were doing the McBrats. We were getting the Johnsonville brats, and we were bringing them into the kitchens after hours, and we'd be like making McBrats, and we've made McSteaks.
Was that your first job, Ivan? Your first part-time job?
No. That was. Let me see. I think that was about the 5th or 6th in line. But yeah, I was. But because I never stayed at any one job for too long back when I was a kid, and so what it was that and we wore those terrible green uniforms with the striped sleeves. I mean, go online and get a picture of that and see how horrible that is. And paper hats.
Yeah.
Paper hats. You sweat through the paper hats and everything, especially during the crushes. What was the other thing we used to do? We used to come up with McFrench toast. We used to make our own McFrench toast. Let me see.
Well, you experimented, but you never had people ask for the stuff.
Well, we've had people come in and say, "Oh, well, you guys can't make any other kind of sandwiches," and then we would just kind of tip them off. Well, we could get you a McPounder. We could get you a double fish, which of course now that's an actual menu item now. Because back then there was no double fish. You'd get one.
Just a fillet of fish, yeah.
Yeah, fillet of fish. You just get one, or you get 2 separate fillet of fish. But now you can get a double fillet of fish now.
I miss
you ever done
McGLT.
this, Ivan? They list. So I looked up secret menu items. Did you ever make one of these? Something called
What's
the
that?
Land, Sea, and Air Burger.
Land, Sea, and Air Burger? Yes, we did.
Just for Mike's awareness. Big Mac, filet of fish, McChicken.
Chicken.
All in one.
All in one.
All three between two pieces of bun?
No, they used to put that. They put it in the Big Mac bun with the crown, the heel, and the crown, the heel, and the center.
Got it.
Oh yeah, did you know that the bread actually has names? The tops are called crowns, okay, and the bottoms are called heels, and then the centers. So you would have that sandwiched in between the crown, heel, and center. Yeah.
Fascinating.
What?
Just like this is here's one. This is crazy. So Shake Shack, I haven't been to Shake Shack yet. The peanut butter bacon burger?
What?
I do it. After having PB&J with bacon at that bacon place, I do it. What is this? Okay, Wendy's has something called the Mute Cube, also known as the Grand Slam. This meat lover's dream steps up when Wendy's hefty 3/4-pound burger just isn't enough. Add another square burger or 2 or 3 to create a geometrically accurate and hunger-destroying cube. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, what is this?
Fitness is futile. We are the Wendy's cube.
What is this? Arby's makes something called the Meat Mountain.
Oh yeah, I've had the Meat Mountain.
Plunk down $10 for this heaping sandwich piled high. You'll find every meat Arby's offers, along with Swiss and cheddar cheeses. Oh my god.
That was insane.
Your Iris.
That believe me, if you have no plans to go anywhere, yeah, that's the one to do.
That's not true. You would have plans to go somewhere, and that plan is to go to the hospital.
Either that or go to the bathroom for at least 3 hours.
Yeah. But yeah, Mike. So you're going McDonald's all the way as well. Both you and Ivan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So McDonald's for me, as far as the French fries thing.
What about you, Jeff?
I'll be honest. I'm between. See, the thing is, Five Guys gives you so many freaking fries. It's
okay.
insane.
Five Guys.
I mean, their fries are good, but in truth, all things being equal, man, I am so glad I have an Arby's near the house that I can get curly fries. Oh.
Well, that would be my second choice.
My second choice would probably be Wendy's because they're thicker. So it's going to be a little soft in the middle. Although I do like the waffle fries from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
but no, I do like go with Wendy's at number 2.
You know the thing they didn't mention. Sorry, not trying to take away from the items that are already here, and I'm not trying to be the
no, that's fine. No, you're fine.
I mean, so it's just like okay, what about the Culver fries? Culver fries are great.
Culver's is more regional, I think, than Whataburger.
I gotta be honest. I don't think their crinkle cut fry that they do is as good as like the Portillo's crinkle cut fry.
Oh no, the Portillo crinkle take that crinkle cut fries are extraordinary.
White Castle still has a crinkle cut.
Do they really?
Yeah. They sell theirs, but they seem to come out soggy, and a lot of times they come out like really cold. But it's just like when you get them from Portillo's or when I get them from Culver's, they're really hot. And then of course when you got the burnt cheese happening, then it's just like, yeah, that's where I'm going. But so many things are good with burnt cheese,
Yeah. But I think even Burger King fries with Marquette cheese would be.
That would save them because Burger King fries are lousy. That would save them because by themselves they're lousy.
I have a friend of mine who swears by those. I'm like, you're high.
Yeah,
you're high.
You're high. You have to be high to eat those. Because they're bland and they taste funny.
Horrible.
Which fries?
Burger King fries.
Burger King fries. So they've sucked for years.
Yeah. I don't know why they still even have that recipe.
I think they switched
I don't
from
know
like
anybody who likes those.
Didn't they for a while? I mean, they weren't half bad a number of years ago, but then they changed the oil.
They switched.
Yeah, they changed the oil to vegetable oil.
Well, I thought they switched the type of fry too, didn't they?
The fry, yes, they did. They did. They went with it. They went with a kind of a fry that was like spiced up for a while, and then that just kind of.
And I remember when Wendy's switched to like sea salt on their fries, and they nixed that within a year.
Did they really? I thought they still were doing that.
No.
I like the sea salt fry. I like the Wendy fry in general, but yeah.
I mean, I like Wendy fry, but if I had my order of it, it would be McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's. Let's see. I would have to say not on the list, but yeah, Culver's, Portillo's. Let's see. Then going back, Chick-fil-A, and then I think that's pretty much where I'm at.
What about Popeyes? I don't know.
Popeye fries, no. Their mashed potatoes with the Cajun sauce is great.
Yeah, they're not the best.
Fries are lousy, but the mashed potatoes are fabulous.
Ivan, turn your levels down just a notch.
Turn my level down?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see if I can do that.
Or just just step, take an inch or two away from the mic. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you were frying out there for a little.
Yes,
for a second.
Levels were frying.
I'm frying my levels.
Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done.
Ding, fries. Oh my gosh, I remember.
Well, I mean, the problem is what I'm about to say is like, well, the reason why I would put Poochie's fries over anything is it's their char cheddar fries, and I'm like, oh well, yeah, those are freaking amazing, and obviously when they put that brick cheddar. Oh, that is amazing stuff. That is amazing stuff.
We are a bunch of cheese eaters up in this group, man. Speaking of cheese, if you had your choice, okay, you got the perfect order of fries in front of you, wherever it came from. Okay, and you had your choice of whatever cheese you want to put it on. Okay, if Merc cheese was not available.
What was that, Ivan? Oh, we lost Ivan.
Oh no, that's bad timing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there you go.
So what happened? Okay, so what happened was, if you had the perfect order of fries, but there was no Merc cheese available, what would be your next cheese?
Oh,
I don't put cheese in my fries.
Okay.
So you have to go with Jeff. Jeff's on this one.
Okay.
Oh, that's rough.
That's a loaded question, isn't it?
It really, because the obvious answer is the nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese, okay.
That nacho cheddar thing.
Yeah,
I
like
the usual.
I like the nacho cheese from Taco Bell.
Okay,
right,
there you go.
Just the right level of spice on it.
Right. That kind of because even when not Wendy's, Arby's does it too, where it's not. They do that's the scary one. It's like would you like some cheese? Would you like to order a side of cheese with your curly fries? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's possible. That's possible.
Take me now.
Although I gotta be honest, it's overkill. It really is overkill when you do that because it's not worth it. It's like you already got these amazing curly fries. You don't need the cheddar cheese unless it's like you're gonna eat it there and you can run it over it and they're like a boat and the boat kind of thing. Otherwise,
we're talking about food for the last half hour. I'm hungry already.
Well, I just got done with Italian beef, and I had Italian beef. I had a salad. I had potato salad, and then of course my cake, pineapple cake for my birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to Ivan on our show today.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, guys.
21. Once more.
Yeah, I'm 21 once more. My gosh, wouldn't that be a dream come
39, true? Rochester.
Yes.
And by the way, this is Squares of the Round Table, We haven't said that yet today. Episode number 113.
Correct.
113.
Woo! I got it.
There you go. Too bad I can't reverse my numbers like most people on their birthday, because if I did that, I'd be only 6 years old. Oh, but I am 6 years old in my head. Anyway, but beside that, if I could turn it upside down, be 9. No, that wouldn't work either. Okay,
no.
I'm putting my candles away.
Don't play with fire.
Yeah, oh no, I don't plan on doing that. But as far as everything else, yeah, I mean, can't believe it. Being born in 1960 and I'm 60, so I'm at my golden. I'm in my golden,
your golden
year.
birthday.
It is my golden birthday.
No, wait, your golden birthday is the day of the day of the year. So like your birthday is the 24th, so your 24th birthday was your golden birthday.
Ah, okay, I didn't know that. All right.
It's like my birthday is on the 22nd, so 22 is my golden.
Okay.
That's
okay. Well, I see. All right. Well, I'll take it though.
It's still quite golden.
It's still quite golden because, hey, you know, when a man has friends, he's rich all the way around. So, you know, what can I ask?
Thank you. Oh shit, what was it? George Bailey.
Well, I didn't get my wings though, so I'm still waiting on that.
No.
Well, we hope you don't get wings yet. It's not that time yet.
No, it's not.
I don't even like wings. You know, like there's Buffalo Wild Wings here in town. I don't like wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, naming.
I've been to Buffalo and I've had wings from Buffalo, and okay, I can say I had them and that was it. But I'm not big on chicken wings. I'm not big on chicken wings.
If I'm gonna get wings, it's probably from either Fridays or I'm gonna get them from Applebee's. I am not getting them from Buffalo Wild Wings, and I don't get why Hooters breads theirs. That's weird.
Well, speaking of Hooters, they've got a place down the street from me, and it's called Hoots, which is a division of Hooters, which specifically caters to the chicken wing franchise. It's just all they sell in there is chicken wings. Mm-hmm. It's almost like an express joint. You walk in, hi, I'd like 5,000 wings, and
hi, I'd like some plump juicy breast, please.
Yes, you know.
What?
Okay, mister.
Give me some wangs. put that barbecue sauce on the wangs.
Yeah. I always felt like Hooters should have that slogan. Hooters, the food ain't great, but the buns are something else.
Hey, dude, ain't rude and buns are fun.
Right.
Hey, in the 70s, they should have had that. They should have had like a big thing where it's like Hooters boobies. You know, I don't.
Boobies.
Now you can't do that.
I don't think Hooters came into prominence until the 80s, right?
What?
Did it? Maybe.
Hooters? I think that's an 80s thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
and then
it really?
Hootie and the Blowfish wasn't until the 90s. So.
Yeah, but
don't start.
Don't start with
go there.
Hooties and the Blowfish. Blow the Hootie fish.
God. Nothing against Hootie and the Blowfish, but oh my God.
Everything against Hootie and the Blowfish, according to you.
Well yeah.
Let her cry.
No, that wasn't the problem.
My hand.
That wasn't the problem. The problem was that was my last year of college, and I'm doing an internship.
Oh, where they played that incessantly?
Time. Hootie and the Blowfish time.
Oh my God.
Hootie and the Blowfish time. Got played, I swear to you, every frickin' 15 minutes or less.
To
the point where the whole entire the whole entire office was like,
not again.
Go. It's gotta go.
Again.
It's like, it's gotta go. We're like, well, but, and they're like, the best is, we're all looking at the music director. You can't play that song anymore. They're like, you don't understand, it charts amazing. We're like,
yeah,
we're gonna kill you.
I was in broadcasting school when the Whitney Houston song was all over the radio.
Right.
I'll always love you. That one?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that one. Hooters was founded in '83 in Clearwater.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay. All right.
So, Jeff, you've been gone for 2 weeks. What you been up to?
Yeah.
What have I been up to? Well, let's see. I was gone last week. I was gone last week because I was doing the MOTH. And the MOTH, for our listeners who are not aware, the MOTH is a storytelling event, and they are nationwide. And what they do is they hold like storytelling competitions, and the winner gets to go on to their city slam. So on that Monday night when we were recording, I put in to see if I would be one of the 8 speakers who would speak virtually. There were between about 60 to 70 people virtually in the audience, and there was a chance I wasn't going to get picked because they take more tellers than they have spots. But it was funny because before we started, I was like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, now am I going to get picked? They're going to pick me first. And sure enough, and it was funny because it was the one. Sure enough, the one time I didn't want to go first. Because usually I don't have a problem. Yeah, usually I don't have any problems with going first. The one time I don't want to go first.
Why didn't you want to go first? Because of the content?
So I told a little bit more of a watered down version of that story I told you about the strip club.
Yeah.
I kind of watered it down a little bit. Yeah. I kind of watered that down a little bit, and I was still a little bit nervous that there were going to be people going, strip club, dance,
blasphemy.
Ew. Yes, blasphemy. And I'm like, And I'm like, it was funny because I told it a couple places on practice, and I was kind of like, at the last minute, I'm like, I could switch out. I could tell something else. And I just was like, no, I've worked on this piece. I'm going to do this piece. And I wasn't sure where it'd fall, but I wasn't 100% comfortable. And I was like, and it's the first time I'm doing a MOTH, and it's a different audience than I'm used to. And so I was a little bit like, okay, what reaction am I going to get? What reaction am I going to get? Are people going to laugh? Are people going to enjoy this and see it for what it is? Or is it going to be, is it going to be one of those where it's like, boy, jeez.
It's going to be like one of those moments where you're cutting your throat to save your face.
Right, exactly.
It's a knee-jerk reaction because of the setting.
Right. And in fairness, that didn't happen, thank God. I feel like, I'm not going to say I did awesome that day, but I didn't screw up, and I wasn't horrible, and I saw people I saw what little of the way they had the screen set up, I saw some people laughing. So I at least had some people who were enjoying what I did. In fairness, the person who won is somebody I know, deserved it entirely. What she did was incredible, and I was like, it was one of those nights where it was like, if she doesn't win, we all should riot, because really, in reality, she was head and shoulders above us all.
She killed
it. By the way, yeah, she was just amazing. And it was funny because the other thing that was amusing was when I went and saw it the previous time on a virtual when I attended virtually, either they didn't pick certain people or certain people didn't come out. But this time there was a whole bunch of people who got picked who were like kind of like a little bit of like A-list people, if you know what I mean. And I'm like, oh, sure. This week you picked all the A-listers show up. The week I'm going to show up and try to like make my move. I'm like, okay, I see how this is going to be. But yeah, no, it's okay. I learned my lesson. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. It was a blast. I will definitely look at doing it again. The only headache is it kind of, we'll talk about that later. I was going to say, because unfortunately they keep picking Monday nights to do it, and I'm like, that's great, lovely. Yeah, so there's that, and then, been picking up a few things, watching here and there, and, I don't know. I mean, we can talk. I mean, I don't. Well, actually, I was going to ask you, Mike. Did you finally get around to watching the final episode of Stargirl yet?
No, I was thinking about that at dinner. I'm like, oh my god, it slipped my mind. I haven't watched the finale of Stargirls. Well, if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, we can hold off.
All right.
We can hold off.
All right. That's on my to-do list.
Yeah, that we can hold off on that.
But a few things I did watch. But anything else, Jeff?
I was just trying to think. Oh, and this week's the Toastmaster convention, and so it's going to be kind of crazy. And by the way, that's free if people are interested. And by the way, for you guys too, that's free.
What's
so
the
if you guys want to check that out?
What's the website?
Oh God, I don't know. I'll have to put it up on our page.
All right, post the link this week on the Squares page.
I'll post this week on the Squares page, but that includes the semifinals and the World Championship of Public Speaking.
Will you be Will you be in it?
I wish. I wish. I didn't compete this year, though.
Okay.
In fairness, but that was the one I competed in last year, and I was in the top 200. I was in the top.
Yeah. You did pretty. I remember you did well last year.
Yeah, I did. I did okay. But we'll see about next year. We'll see. I'm working on stuff for next year already. But yeah,
you and everyone else.
Yeah. Well, you ain't kidding. They have about 30 to 35,000 competitors every year.
Wow, that's a lot.
So
a big playing field.
Yeah. No. Well, in fairness, it plays a little smaller than you think at times. Than you would think, because it starts at the real low levels, it starts in your local club, it builds up to a group of clubs, then it goes to an even larger group of clubs. You get the drift, but
right,
the numbers all kind of start to be the same after a while in terms of you're still only facing the people in front of you.
Right.
So, it's possible somebody lost out that you won't even ever see or had to deal with, someplace across the ocean, and you get the idea. But
no, I'm with you.
But yeah, so there's that. And the only reason I bring it up is, honestly, it's between the two semifinals and the finals, there's probably. And in fairness, I think all those are going to be on demand too, so you can watch them at any point, just within 24 hours for free. But the point being is, really, it's essentially it's a 2-hour show. It's a 2-hour show of some of the best presenters in the world right now,
including
well, not including me, unfortunately, this time, but not me this time. But
well, you're my
I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited. I'm curious to see how it goes, because it's the first time it's all happening virtually, and that's a very different animal. So.
Well, anything virtual is a very different animal. I mean, because you don't get the energy from the crowds when you're doing it live. I mean,
right.
And you don't have that adrenaline rush, knowing that you're going to be going out.
Yeah, you don't get audience reactions.
Yeah.
So the irony is, here's what you'll laugh about.
Mm-hmm.
The years of doing shows like this and broadcast shows, have made me be like, okay, so there's no audiences, there's no audience reaction. So what?
Yeah.
It's no different. It's no different than doing a radio show.
Right.
Exactly.
It's no different than doing a radio show. It's like, okay, now I'm just doing TV. It's just the only thing is there's
but
TV.
People are built into that public speaking, and they've overcome that fear, and they need that audience. They need the audience to get fed off of them.
Well, yeah.
And it's funny. I was having a conversation with one of my clients this morning, and he's bitching about that. And my reaction is, welcome to the new reality. Which is you're gonna have to understand that you may not have an audience, and you may have to figure out.
Well,
you might have to figure out how to deal with the fact that, hey, does your material really work?
Well, and it also adds the added dimension of the fact that you're playing to the camera, okay? And because you're playing, it's just like, remember what they taught us in school.
See, and that's the problem, dude. They don't get that.
Yeah, see, because like we were in school, and you got that microphone. First thing they told you, that microphone is your best friend.
Yep.
You talk to that microphone like you're talking to your best friend. Okay? But now...
That's what, by the way, Ivan, that's what kills me about this year. See, originally, it was supposed to be live, and it's supposed to be in person, and it was supposed to be in Paris, and I'm like, I'll take the year off. I don't want to have to pay to go to Paris. Okay. As soon as I heard it was virtual, I'm like, son of a bitch. By that time, it was too late. I'm like, son of a bitch. I could kill at this because it's like, because I'm like, oh, everybody's going to do this wrong because they're used to public speaking.
Right.
They're not used to...
They'd write the speech and they'd shape it on, pause for laughter or pause for audience reaction.
Or wait till the laughs die down before you go into your next thing.
Well, it's not even that. They mask on TV and radio, like when we're doing right now. You can hear the conviction in our voices when we're talking about stuff. If you're more in your head about getting perfect words and you're not fully invested in what you have to say or how you're saying it,
it's not going to come off.
It's going to come off horrible.
It's going to be believed, and people are going to say, "Oh boy, this guy's a clusterfuck because he's all up inside his head," instead of playing to the camera.
Well, right.
That's something I had to learn when I started doing virtual DJing and everything. Okay, nobody's going to want to, have me sit there while I'm shuffling records, lost in my own world. No, they want to see something. They want to be entertained by something. So that's why, which is no different from what I did when I was at Weave, where, that's an air guitar. I'm playing some air guitar. This is cool. Or that's some air drums. I'm playing some air drums. Oh, that's cool. I make the audience feel like, oh, okay, so all the shit I used to do alone in my room doesn't seem so silly because here's this guy going out there doing his groovy thing in front of the camera. Now I don't feel so bad. Now I can just be myself. And because having, in the last 5 months, having to watch other people do virtual DJing, there are some that are exceptional. There are those that you kind of sit back and you're like, yeah, nobody wants to look at the record spin. Okay, you have others, no, I don't want to look at your back while you're choosing the records. And then you have those where, they're ingenious. I know of several virtual DJ situations where they use their best assets to, exemplify what it is that they were doing. Okay, there's a woman who does,
Bubes.
Yeah. Boobs. Okay, okay.
Ready to watch my show, boys? Giggle, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Well, there's the opposite of that too. I'm sure there's some guy in a tank top that every girl on the planet watches that DJ.
He's chiseled, man. He's cut, man.
Where it's like, oh, I'm gonna bend in a certain way so you can see my ass, right?
Well, there's Shonen Princess who does a virtual DJ shift every now and again on Facebook, and the angle of the camera, it's obvious what we're doing.
Boobs.
So it's pointed down. All you see is the little record player in the corner, and you see her fullness in all its views. So we all know what this is about.
Yeah, what's up with that?
But
we know what's up.
Well, but she's beautiful.
Well, but to get back to your point, though, Ivan, what makes me laugh about it is
what's that?
Like I said, I was talking to a couple of people who are clients, and they're like, who are artists. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. And I'm like, just talk to the camera. And they're like, but I have to do more. No, you don't.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Camera.
No, you don't. All you need to do is pretend that you're talking to that camera like you're talking to me right now. If you do that, you'll be fine. Stop worrying about, I gotta move here, I gotta move there, I gotta move here, I gotta move there. I'm like, there are certain people, it was funny, God bless this person, I love him to death. He was going over stuff last night about how to do certain things presenting virtually in a COVID world. And I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, he's a great presenter in person. And there were some things that did make sense of what he said, but I'm literally sitting there at certain points going, no, that's not going to work. No, that's not going to work either. No. You have to really know you can't just sit there and go, okay, I'm going to memorize my content and say it and then and do it. No, you have to be more passionate from the heart. You have to have conviction. You have to have understanding. You have to know it like we're having a conversation right now. And a lot of people right now who are out there being virtual present, and I didn't want to go on this tangent, but I'm sure now that we can do this, I can promote the hell out of the fact that we talked about this on our show this week. But you have to really have to basically believe what you're saying, and you have to buy into it, and it has to sound like you don't, because otherwise it sounds like you come off like you sound like a used car salesman.
You're reading copy, or even worse. You know?
Right.
And then, like I said, because if you don't believe in you, nobody's going to believe in you.
Right. Like, if you have I'll get, and I'm not going to use names, but if you are promoting an idea of how to do sales, okay, right. And if you believe in your system, right. It's got to sound like you believe in your system, not like it sounds a matter of fact. You have to be passionate about what you do or excited, and I have to hear that in your voice. I can't, like right now when I'm talking to you, you hear it in my voice.
Right.
I can't sound like this when I'm talking about it. Just like a normal conversation like this. And, because that's not going to work.
Mushroom, rich and smooth.
Right. Yeah.
Sauce. Nutritional facts. Okay, there's 112 calories in a half cup of Ragu Old World mushroom sauce.
Are you eating mushroom sauce? Seriously? Is that what you
No.
I've just got handfuls of ragu.
No. Because when you see on some of my videos that I drink out of a Ragu Old World style mushroom bottle, because I just I pour the water, and my little system, believe me, it's worked. Where if I drink 3 of these large jars of water a day, it's the total amount of water I could have in a day.
Okay.
So, and besides it's glass, things in glass taste better than in plastic. That's just me. But I just happen to see the
If
bottle.
Ivan drinks 3 of those, how many times does he have to go to the bathroom in the middle of his shift?
Well, actually, I've been very fortunate that my bladder systems are still in check and everything works well, and I'm happy about that after my last medical report. But go back to you, as far as conviction, you have to have conviction when you are going out there.
Be assertive.
Not as much as assertiveness.
Not assertive,
but just be convicted. You're convinced of what it is that you're trying to. There's a difference between Ragu Old World style or Ragu Old World style mushroom. Let me tell you something about Ragu Old World style mushroom sauce. Okay, if you have nothing else in the rest of your life, you need to check out this Ragu Old World style because.
See, and the funny part is, like when you're doing that right now. The reason you're doing it the way you're doing it right now is because you've had to do live reads before.
Right.
And they've never done that before.
Yeah.
And that's what they're missing, and that's what they don't understand.
Exactly.
Is you gotta be able to sell the product on the radio. Yeah, I mean, if anything, they should go, and you're gonna laugh at this. A lot of them aren't local, but some of them might who hear this. It's like, you need to go find like an old Mike North, commercial. But it's like, you gotta go to my guys, and they do this, and they're wonderful, and they're awesome, and you want to buy their product like that. Tell them Mike North sent you. Okay? So they do stuff like that back in the day.
Jeff. Which do you think is harder? Like public speaking without radio experience, or radio experience without public speaking experience? Because some people in radio don't translate over to like speaking to an audience. They're used to just speaking to the microphone.
Yeah, I will. So here's the amusing part. Here's the thing that I find kind of funny. I had more problems. Everybody sits there and says, how they say public speaking is like the biggest fear of everyone?
Yeah, it is.
Because you're speaking in front of all those people?
Yeah.
That was never my fear. My fear was the opposite. Okay, I'm in a studio. I'm by myself. I'm talking into the air. I have no idea if anybody's listening.
Could be 10 people, could be 20,000.
Right. And especially when you're on when you're on some of the stations that we were on.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
okay.
the one-lung stations that we've worked on, and you're thinking, oh, you only play to the parking lot. How convincing can I have?
Yeah, and then, oh my God, we got a caller. We got a caller.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, WNDZ was a little bit bigger than the parking lot for you guys, but the point
yes.
But the point being, exactly. It's okay. It's 5 a.m. You're doing, and it's 5 a.m. You're doing an hour of sports. There's nobody else there but you to talk about stuff, and you're going out over the air on a daytimer that, quite frankly, a lot there, that people, nobody's really listening to this station. Are you going to get a phone call? Did anybody hear you? Do you know that you even got heard today? Was there, and because the worst part is on a station like that, odds of you getting a phone call are like nil. So it's like, did anybody hear what I had to say today? Was there anybody out there? Is anybody listening? That to me was always, was always to me the thing that was always far more,
It was far more alarming to me to go ahead and think, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to be doing this show, and all right, one person's listening, 10 people could be listening, but the clue of it is that you have to feel like there are 20,000 people listening to you.
Right.
And I've always just been more comfortable just talking to the microphone because, and when I've had to do public speaking, like if I had to speak at weddings or whatnot, of course, and every year when I sing a song in front of all my coworkers, that's when, I get the butterflies. I get nervous. But when I'm here, I'm chill. I'm good.
Well, that's because you're in your element, because you're in what you know. But having done public speaking, and you've heard me talk to lots of people, and it's just a matter of just conducting yourself in a way that you make it to where you hit the points, but yet while you're hitting the points, you're showing your audience that this is something that you have conviction in. This is something that you believe in. This is from my heart. This is from my soul. Okay? And whether or not I use my hands to project the energy forward, and or my eyes or my body language, that part of it is minimal compared to the fact that my voice is that instrument that has to tell you that, yes, this is the imperative thing that's going on with me. This is the moment that we got to do this. This is what I'm saying now.
Yeah, right.
This is the moment.
Right. Well, some people don't get that, so that's
right.
That's
and in fairness, I was fortunate. I went to a junior high that had a theater program.
I was in theater in high school.
I was in theater.
I had a junior high that had a theater program. I was involved in a little bit of high school theater, and so that helps too in understanding certain aspects about public speaking, because you'd be surprised how many people I have to sit down when I'm coaching them. I'm like, so what are you thinking about at this moment when you're talking about this? They're like, I don't know the words. I'm like,
no.
All right. What are you? Okay, let's talk about why you're saying the words that you're saying and what you're saying them for.
And
because if you don't because that's where we're losing people, and that's the frustrating part is.
Well, you have to make me believe it.
Well, look, if you're going to write out words just to write out words, just to say words, that's not going to work.
No, not at all.
Right. You gotta, and there are plenty times when, here's what I have written on the page. I go practice it, and I'm like, guess what? This is how it's going to come out now. It's not going to come out like that. It's going to come out like this. And that's that. But to answer your question, Mike,
mushrooms.
To answer your question, this is the long way to get to your question. Like I said, to me, radio was, in some ways, radio was harder. Radio was harder because I was looking for that reaction from an audience I wasn't sure was there. And that to me was far more
difficult for you.
Difficult for me than, okay, I'm in a room and there's a bunch of people. Great. I'm in a room where there's a bunch of people. Great. These people are all listening, or sort of listening, or they're at least here.
Right.
Okay? I at least know they're here. I have no idea what's going on over there. And that's where I always laughed about it. But you're right, because there are some people who can't translate one skill to the other. And in fairness, that was something that when I was in college, I worked on. That was something in college where I sat there and I said, I need to be better for when I get on the radio. I had to figure out how what I did with public speaking translated to broadcast. I had to figure out how, like, for example, some of the stuff that I've done with public speaking, how does that relate to sales, and how do I translate it to that? Because for a while it didn't, until I sat there and said, wait a minute, what do I need to do to make it sound more like me when I'm trying to sell people? But that's, yes, there are some people who can't make that translation. No question. No question at all.
Well, and then you have this situation where, before I was doing all this radio stuff, okay, I did a lot of music stuff. So being out in the public was second nature to me, in a way that, I was a sound guy, so I made everybody sound good, okay? Mm-hmm. And when I went up on stage to MC, good example, Martyrs, when I brought in Ralph Soul Jackson, I MC'd that night. And going out there and rousing up a crowd by the seat of your pants, literally by the seat of your pants, which incorporates what I learned in radio, where, okay, what's going to happen up on the stage is I'm going to try to translate this energy to the audience that's out there. Okay, and in the hopes that it's going to excite them as much as I'm excited about it. Okay, but it all goes back to conviction. Okay, and, having heard Ralph Soul Jackson before, and then knowing he was good, I was able to grab that and say, yeah, this man's fucking fabulous. I gotta tell these people what this shit is, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna rouse them up. And, good evening everybody, welcome to Martyrs, Jivan Ivan over here. We have Ralph Soul Jackson with everyone from Rabbit Factory label here tonight. So, are you ready for some of this? Are you ready for some of this?
No.
Because you know what? I have been so ready about this. Man, I've been ready 5 minutes ago. I'm so ready.
I'm ready.
So come on, applaud. Here's Ralph Soul Jackson. Boom.
Well, and that's an entirely different diatribe about introducing people. But
I'm saying, by
the way, Mike,
the technique.
What was that,
by the way, Mike, I was going to say, so how's your week been? Now that we need to get to that,
Let's see. I watched episode 3 of Lower Decks, and I think I've made my peace with it. I mean, it is what it is, so I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. But I'm not finding it funny. It's entertaining because it's Star Trek. It's in that world. I'm just going to take it for what it is, and look, an Easter egg, or they mentioned this episode, that thing, whatever, the thing that happened one thing. So. And, it's Rick and Morty Star Trek, and okay, fine, but it's Star Trek, so I'm just going to watch it. So I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it either. So
okay.
Yesterday after the Cubs game, watched Silverado.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
okay.
And I remember my media. I saw this in high school, and my media teacher was totally playing it up. It's it was a big ensemble cast. It was a big to-do back in the day, because one of the last big Westerns, I think one might argue. But I watched it, and I'm the entire third act, nobody reloaded. I mean, they're six guns, they're revolvers, and yeah. So
sounds like D&D.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody ever reloads D&D.
D&D.
So just kind of like, through that realistic never occurred to me like that. And I watched Terminator, the first Terminator from '84. And man, some of those special effects are really bad.
Yeah, that.
I mean,
certain things don't hold up like we thought.
Yeah, we know James Cameron was. I mean, T2 is like one of my favorite movies of all time. But Terminator 1, James Cameron was on a budget. I mean, the soundtrack is awful. Like, there's some scenes where they're like the chase scenes, and it's just the synthesizer music going and it's like, that's just really bad. It's really 80s pastiche, and like Linda Hamilton's hair is like so 80s, and but T1 doesn't. It had some good moments, but some of the special effects are really bad.
Well, they were what they were for the times.
That's why he waited. He got the money, and that's why he waited for T2, and he got like the cutting edge special effects for the T1000.
Right.
And those were top notch for the day, and they still hold up. Anyway, but I mean, like some of at the end, the Terminator burns in the fire and burns off all the skin, and it's just the metal skeleton coming at him. Yeah. It just reminds me of like the Sinbad movies, that stop motion animation. And that's the best he had to work with because there was no CG back then. And it does not hold up.
Well, Sinbad movies, you mean like First Kid?
Yeah, the old Sinbad movies. Like they fight a bunch of skeletons. It's all stop motion animation.
Like Jason Ray Harryhausen shit.
Oh, I was thinking about the guy from The Different World. Okay, no. My bad.
No, not that.
That's Sinbad, right?
I watched the Ren and Stimpy documentary.
There's a Ren and Stimpy documentary?
Yes. It's called Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. It's the story of the rise and fall of the Ren and Stimpy cartoon. It was obviously a big flash.
Aren't they bringing that back?
I think MTV is trying to bring it back, but
no, it's going to be Comedy Central, ironically.
Okay, well, that's where it was on Nickelodeon, but then they moved to MTV because it was more cutting edge. But the documentary has altered my perception of the show. I mean, I wasn't a super big fan, but like the Ren and Stimpy theme was like the opening theme for like my radio show back when I was, back in the WEEF, the the opening theme, the Ren and Stimpy, and there are some of those it's totally changed like animation forever. That show is so cutting edge, but it's all this documentary is really good, really interesting, but the last 20 minutes they get into this shit that John K. What's his name? Kurzelinski. They just call him John K. because his last name is a mess to pronounce and remember. He was grooming underage girls, and it was pretty bad. So one of his accusers is in this documentary, and she was writing, because she was an aspiring artist and she didn't care. She was 14, writing him letters, and she moved in with him at age 16.
Oh boy!
And it's like, it just makes you feel dirty. It's like, you want to hear the history and this great, great cartoons, and a lot of people were behind it. The musicians and other animators. But the thing is that John Kay was singularly responsible for the rise and the destruction of the show, because he was such a perfectionist that he'd go into people's offices or they'd do the reports or whatever and show them what they drew, and he'd call them names and just hated what he did. It's like, this is terrible, this is awful. And this show failed to meet the deadline for episode 2, the second episode. But the thing is that Nickelodeon, because John Kay, he had this bunch of friends and they were making these awesome drawings, and he initially pitched this one cartoon to Nickelodeon about a bunch of gang of kids, but they said no, they weren't interested in that. And one of the executives of Nickelodeon, she's in this documentary, and she talks about, I was like, no, there's this one kid has this dog and a cat. Those two are interesting. Make a cartoon about the dog and the cat. And so he did. Dog? No, it wasn't the cat dog. That came afterward.
Oh, okay.
That's where Ren and Stimpy. That was the two, the cat and the dog. The show that came from.
Okay.
And Ren and Stimpy was such, like I said, it changed the game. It changed animation forever. That we wouldn't have anything that we have today. I mean, it's influenced everything since.
It's because it pushed the envelope on everything.
It did. And
Pushed
all this and those stills of beautifully disgusting art. I mean, you sit on it. They'd sit on it for 2-3 seconds, and you have to soak it in. And that they made sure that you got a good look at that art, and it was
and they
beautiful.
Have my old pal,
yeah,
Stimpy Weaseltooth.
That's right. Yeah, but I mean, like the Powdered Toast Man ones are my favorite. But knocking back now after what this come through, and then obviously one of the accusers said, don't hate Ren and Stimpy because of this, but just remember, like, every time you're going to see if Ren and Stimpy comes back, you're going to see, like, created by John Kay. That's forever. Ren and Stimpy is created by him, so that's got to be in the credits. And you're going to see that. And now, like, Ren and Stimpy has this asterisk after it.
Well, now it's got this fog over it that's just like. Okay.
So here's a question, because Ivan can answer this. We talk about this stuff, and yet a guy like Jerry Lee Lewis married what?
His 13-year-old cousin.
Was it 13?
Well,
yes.
No, she was 13, and he wasn't even divorced from his other wife when he got married.
Right, and yet nobody sits there and says, "Oh, I'm never going to listen to Jerry Lee Lewis ever again."
Well, but the thing is, though, with Jerry Lee Lewis, okay, that's an entirely different connotation, and I'll tell you why. Okay,
because they're from like the South.
No, not necessarily that.
Explain, Ivan. Explain.
I shall. Okay, and the point of the matter is with Jerry Lee Lewis. Okay, I mean a lot of it was identified when Dennis Quaid did the movie, which I have to say they did a better than average job of actually doing a rock and roll movie, because at least they followed closely.
Yeah, and Jerry Lee was still alive, so it was obviously a little bit more sunshine and rainbows. From his point of view.
No, not really, because the fact that there was a time where, okay, when you go ahead into history of Jerry Lee Lewis, when the British found out that he had married his cousin, they had to cancel the tour.
Yeah, they ran him out of town.
Well, they pushed that baby buggy getting pushed on stage. That happened, and not only that, when you look at the footage now. But when they came back from England, you can actually see it in Jerry Lee Lewis's face. He goes, "So, what do you think about your trip to England?" And he goes, "Yeah, they treat us real nice." But he had a scorn on his face, like, "Yeah, they ran us out of town. They canceled all our gigs. Sun Records did not promote our records anymore." And he just fell down, down, down. In fact, many radio stations after that would refuse to play Jerry Lee Lewis's records, so he went in total free fall in 1960, and no self-respecting station was going to play his music.
So he was relegated to like the honky tonks and bars of the South for many years.
Oh yeah, he was doing.
If he was able to get any of those.
Yeah, and he was doing one-nighters, and then on top of that, then somebody felt sorry for him. His old friend Bill Justice, who worked at Sun Records. And he said, "Man, dude, if we could get you into this other label, can you behave yourself?" And, of course, Jerry Lee, starving and in need for money, and of course, his scandal and everything. Bill Justice was responsible for somewhat of a comeback on Smash, but then again, the stigma was still in the air.
Right.
All the way.
I know John Kay has done some other animation projects. I remember he did like a couple of Yogi shorts that were like really disgusting, really bad.
You're talking about the one where Boo Boo does a number on Daisy inside the forest?
They get feral or something, and he's like, "Hey, Daisy, what's wrong with you?" And she's all like, something like that. I mean, he was all about that. I mean, that just kind of. Just that kind of humor, those awkward situations, but
Well, yeah, it became a case of Uncle Pervy when you start watching those animated shorts.
But anyway, I would still recommend anyone to watch this documentary. But like I said, they kind of, and some people said, like I've read like reviews for this doc, and some people are like, yeah, the last 20 minutes it seemed like they're just kind of tack it on, but they do address the situation. And John says, if I could talk to her, I'd apologize. It still had the Ren and Stimpy. I mean, like, it was a great cartoon, but now it's like this went on like afterward. Like after there was a hit, then he started getting all this fan mail, and some of those fans were young, so that was very
but then I guess also too. I'm not going to say that any of that is any good, but I'm not saying, but I am saying that that none of that is good. But it's not foreign to the world of entertainment. I mean,
true that.
I could tell you hundreds of stories about good example, Frankie Avalon. Oh, Mr. Clean Cut and everything like that. He was a horn dog. In fact, in the movie, The Idol Maker, that presents that whole situation. Yeah. In fact, one of the scenes in the movie stated where, the Frankie Avalon-like person, did a record hop, and here's all these young teenage girls, and then he's taking one of the girls.
They're all throwing themselves at him.
They're all throwing themselves at him. And
the thing is that he would send, but they said, when I finish this up and then we could move along, but where he's had young girls and he's like take them under his wing and think that they're going to become like great artists, and they're waiting for him to become, because they were saying he was like a rock star in the animation world in making cartoons.
Well, he took advantage of the situation.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And it was awful. But I'd still recommend the doc just for the historical perspective of how the Ren and Stimpy cartoon came about, and just like and the process that came about.
But should you just say in the same line, but prepare to be disenchanted?
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, I think it's changed my perception of the show. I don't think I can, a couple of shorts are still like really funny. And I remember times they were like, it would knock me on my ass. And it was like the super funny stuff. And they'd have comedians talking about the show, saying like, yeah, I remember like I turned it on one day and I thought I was having an acid flashback.
Well, I didn't. Okay, and me, Ren and Stimpy, I wasn't a fan of Ren and Stimpy, and just because I just thought that some of the animation seemed a bit hard. I mean, animation wise, technically animation wise, it was stellar stuff. It was art.
It was art, and it was art driven show. It wasn't a story driven show.
Exactly.
He talks about like he hated what John Kay said. He hated pathos. So that we want some pathos. We want to empathize with these characters. And there was that bond between Ren and Stimpy. Like Ren would slap him all the time, and Stimpy would just be like a smile. He'd still be right there by his side. But there's one episode where Stimpy farts, and he loses it, and he's on a quest to go find his fart. And that was they totally playing up the emotion level of this. Right. Like he's like, it's dark, it's snowing, and he can't find his little fart friend, and he's sad, and Ren is sad for him. And anyway,
he knew how to tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah, but the show was driven by the artists, and it was a beautifully drawn show.
Beautifully driven.
There was still no computers back then. It was all cell drawn.
Well, no. Exactly. So,
but anyway, I'd recommend it. So, I'd give it 4 out of 5 yeah-mans.
All right.
Well, any fun stuff at the hardware store lately, or were people walking without masks?
No, people are actually last month or so. People have been pretty good with not wearing a mask.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's good. They've gotten better. I mean, they have to walk past 6 signs in order to get inside. So if they get past that saying, "Oh, I forgot," and like, bullshit, you didn't forget. But people have been good with the masks, and things are moderating now as far as some level of normalcy.
So, Ivan, what's going on with you? Because I knew we. By the way, we got a lot. We got a lot of geeks.
Yeah, we can just hit some bullet points about what news items from DC Fandome last week.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So what's up, Ivan? Aside from being older, how else you been?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been doing good. Like I mentioned earlier about the whole virtual presentation thing, which I'm stepping away for a month because, like I said, five months and a lot of shows. In fact, I've played well over 1,000 records in 5 months of being a DJ on the virtual scene, as they call it now, because I guess it is indeed a scene now. And so what it is that I've had the joy of actually getting caught up with a couple of scenes in England, which have been really cool. And they seem very flattered at what I do, and I'm happy about that. They're happy about it. And so it gave me something to really pass the time well. It kept me going, being confined to quarters and everything. And besides my spinning the records and getting to know all these people, and because of the whole virtual scene now, I go ahead and I watch everybody else's stream, and I just like study, and I'd watch, and I sit there and be like, oh yeah, that could be something I could do. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. Or the musical content and everything. I mean, it all started when I finally figured out how to get it to sound good. Okay, and that was the thing that held it back for me, was because using the regular phone microphone and everything had this sound of, I don't know, just too much room and not enough oomph in the music, right? And then through my MacGyverisms, I went ahead and put something together which was totally by accident, and I have to say it was totally by accident, because I just was trying so many different things, and then it just came together one day, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. So then incorporating that first on Twitch, and then it spilled over into Facebook, which I knew I wasn't going to do Facebook because of the red flag thing, but because not enough people know about Twitch, I have to do the Facebook thing. So what I do is I just cleverly, as soon as they flag me, I would just lift my records up. I would do a back sell on the Facebook Broadcasting Network. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Be right back. Boom. And then I just keep right on going, which, to the delight of the British audiences, they find it most funny. And I make it as entertaining as possible. And not only that, in Britain, the records that have no value here are like gold over there. So, and having been the collector for these 55 years, venturing into all these records and just being able to play it, basically it's just the same thing I've always done. It's the same thing I've always done on radio. It's the same thing I've always done spinning records. It's the same thing I've always done. But yet over there, they're excited and they're applauding and they're very appreciative. And, they love the efforts, and they thank you at the end of the run. Like I did a session for, supporting, scooter support, supporting, the National Health Service. Yeah, at the end of the run, they actually go on with a live from the people who run the charity event, and they thank everybody, and they said some really, really, really nice things.
That's good.
Same with the people at the spinning wheel, same thing, and they appreciate that, and that's the thing that I like. We're talking about public speaking, and getting the reactions of people, and it's nice that in Europe, they take a little extra time out and they just say, hey, thanks for coming all the way from Chicago, and your music is this and this is that, and we really appreciate you coming down. Are you coming back next week? Would you like a spot? They're very engaged over there with the whole virtual DJ scene. In fact, I've even been invited to go to Spinning Wheel in the near future to actually spin there once their place is actually open, which I'm very excited about. If I can make that happen, that would be the cherry on the cake of our day. And but I think about all that, and then last night, I had I had a spark of genius driven by the fact that my dad, kind of made his presence known. And I'm like, well, listen, if I could do all this jazz with the records and do everything on camera, why not try the same techniques with my own videos, which is something I've been wanting to do for years and years and years, was to make videos of my own music. And I'm thinking, well, if Facebook can't take this down, this stuff belongs to me. So I pushed the send button on it, and I made 2 videos yesterday. Both of them are presented in black and white, and both of them present 2 songs that I had recorded, half a lifetime ago. But I made it in such a way, my vision of it was just to make it as vintage as the music was, because, I don't think I have those singing chops like I once did, but I didn't want these moments to get away. So I just went ahead and I just drew my lot in, and I was very overwhelmed with the support and the wonderful feedback I got from people, because musically, it was something I always wanted to do in my life, but I guess, a lot of that time has passed me by. So I figured, well, if I can't do it in a way that I'll be, far-reaching in one avenue, I'm going to be far-reaching in another. And so I did the 2 videos. Both songs I recorded in the 90s, and I did it, and I was very pleased at how both the videos came out, because it kind of envisioned what was going on in my mind when I did it. And to be quite honest with you, the first one, Share the Sunset, with the hat and all of that, I had used a grainy filter on the video, and, being in black and white, and it was just like, oh yeah, that came out.
Yeah, you were channeling like a little Run DMC there, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Hat and stuff.
With the hat, yeah. And then the second time, I hit a filter that gave me just total darkness around my face, like I was singing in the twilight, which fit the song beautifully. And I just had this little lamp by the bed, so I just turned it to just a little bit so you could just see the outline of my face and just a little of the microphone, and it worked beautifully. And it worked the song. And I mean, I'm sorry that the songs and the demos, that's what they are. They're demos, so they're raw, and they're not perfect, but it's a capture in time moment in my life, that this is what I thought about when I was 30 years old. This is what came to my mind when I was 30 years old. And here it is, I'm 60 now. And I look back on all that, and I find that a lot of my feelings on those songs still exist, and are just as valid as they've always been. And at least in that behalf of my life, I'm pleased that I have not become a jaded individual, and that, I'm full of any gloom and doom, that I still have hope, and that I still have, a lot to look forward to, especially in these times now. And so I'm thinking, man, if these songs can uplift somebody, if these songs can feel like they've got some company, and like I said, I don't claim to be a great singer. I don't claim to be a great player. I play with the guitar. I don't play the guitar. I don't sing. I kind of caterwaul, but the words and the sentiment of the words were the central focus of all these demos at the time these things were recorded, because a lot of it, the vast majority of it, was just what I felt at that moment.
Where did you record these?
Okay, the two that you heard, the Sunset and Twilight, both were recorded in Chicago, at 1938 West Wellington, when I had my own apartment in the basement. And back then, I had beautiful reel-to-reel recorders. And, I mean, it wasn't sophisticated equipment, but it was sophisticated enough. But, they were, but sometimes certain demos ended up getting riddled with some problems, like, with Sunset. Sunset came off well, so I wasn't worried about that. It was Twilight where I ended up with a ground break in the guitar line, which ended up putting a hum underneath that. So I tried really hard to clean it up as best as I could without taking away from the original performance. But also, when I put the visual next to the audio, it completed it, and it almost gave it a feeling of like a much older 1960s performance, televised performance. And that's what I was kind of going for when I made that. And but there were a lot. I mean, there's hundreds of songs that I've done between 1980 and 2005 that made up for the bulk of the output of the demo work that I did under the name Dusty Rhodes, R-O-A-D-S.
Not the wrestler.
No, not the wrestler. Not R-H-O-A-D-E-S. So I'm making a series on Instagram called, Dusty Demos from Dusty Road, from Dusty Road, which, I'm going to be featuring all those videos on the Instagram full video platform. I'm going to probably release a couple every so often and get them out there and, get the feedback and see what the people think about it. And that will also aid in the decision, if someday, if I can get the capital to release, a 45, I'd be happy with just 145. But if I can get the capital for an album, I have enough material for several albums, but also at the same time, I want to present something that people are going to want to hear, but not only just want to hear it, but just when they listen to the lyrics, it's something that they can relate to. It's something that they can feel. It's something that has that conviction like we were talking about earlier, because that's what all those demos were, a sense of conviction. Okay. Those weren't just pretentious little thoughts in my head. These were things I truly felt in my heart when I laid them down. And most of these things were from the top of my head. I very rarely ever wrote anything down. So as soon as the tape started running, then there they are. I get a melody, my 3 lousy chords or whatever, what other gadget or whatever thing I used to get whatever sounds I wanted to get with what very limited production values I had. They were very limited. It came off, better than I would have ever thought, and it pleased me very much. So I can only hope that from here, we'll see where life takes it. But you know what? At least I can say I tried it and that I did it. I mean, I kept my finger up my ass for 30 years. Because I did a George McFly to myself saying, what if nobody likes them? What if it's not good enough? I don't take rejection well, and I just said finally just yesterday.
Which finger?
My thumb. My thumb.
Your thumb?
I had my thumb up my ass.
Okay. Which hand?
Right hand. Because
I'm never shaking your right hand. I'm never shaking your right hand ever again.
That's all right.
So what did you do today? How did you spend your first day at age 60?
Well, I got up to the wonderful strains of Julie and Rita singing Happy Birthday to me, which that was a beautiful thing. I got up about, I think it was like 12:30. I was, so I was, I was sleeping until, I heard the phone ring like, oh, hey, I got the happy birthday followed by happy birthday from my mom, happy birthday from my friend John and Tara and Ida, shout out to all of you guys. Love you all. And, love you all, Mom. Then, let's see. Then, I just cleaned up around the house a little bit, just got things together. Julie came home, which I was real happy because, I hadn't seen her in a month because, having the fact that she had, suffered from her stroke, and then, she is now just bouncing back, with CTs and MRIs and trying to get to the bottom of everything. In fact, tomorrow, Tuesday, I have to drive her back for yet another examination. But for the most part, she seems comfortable, tired but comfortable. And so with that in mind, she came in, she made dinner. We had beef, we had salad, we had potato salad, we had chips, I got a big cake from Roser's. Oh, you ain't lived till you've done Roser's cake, man, let me tell you.
So it was a pineapple cake?
It was a pineapple cake. It was beautiful. Beautiful blue.
Down?
No, just regular pineapple cake, buttercream, with the flowers. It was a nice tint of blue. They had my name on it. I had these, 60s candles, and it was wonderful.
60 candles, really? Wow.
Yeah, 60. I'm 60. And,
well, no, I understand that, but 60. They're like no, the whole house with 60 candles.
No, not like 60 individual candles, but a number 6 and a number 0.
Oh,
two
okay.
candles with the 2 digits.
Got it. I'm like, damn, that's impressive. Put 60 candles on that. Holy crap.
You need a full sheet for 60 candles.
60 candles, yeah.
Yeah, the sheet would happen, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would be. So that being said, and of course, Soraya and Russell was here, and we all ate dinner together. We hung around, we told stories and stuff until it was time to come on to air. And and it's just been a very entertaining day. I don't feel any more different now than I did yesterday. Just now, everybody talks about New Year's starting in January 1st. My New Year starts when my birthday starts. So now it's the start of a new year. And we're going to see where things go from here. And so let me see. As far as anything else I know, I think that's pretty much about it.
I've just been Facebook Live and twitching.
I've been Facebook Live, twitching, performing, and now releasing videos, which is kind of weird, but but I'm happy with it. I'm just hoping that others are as happy with it as I am, because I believe in it, So, I mean, I don't come off as, pompous about it or anything like that, because it's just, it'd be nice just to get out there and try to make the world a better place somehow. And if I can sing to make the world a better place, put you to sleep, or whatever have you, then then I did what I felt I could do, and I'm happy with that. A lot of people in Europe, they're like, oh, you're a star, you're this, you're that, and I go, nah, I'm just a guy who plays records and parties. That's it. That's me. I'm not a star. I'm not.
You'll be like David Hasselhoff.
Like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, he's big in Germany.
Yeah, he's big in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
you're
much.
You're like a nobody here, but like over there, you're like a rock star. Like you could like be like there for like the Berlin Wall when it comes down, like Hasselhoff was.
You can go tour with Hasselhoff, Ivan.
Yeah,
freedom.
I
don't remember what the hell it was he sang. It was funny.
I'm sure there's a record of it someplace.
Oh, forget record. I think there's video of that.
Yeah.
Because it is like the Berlin Wall, so it's like kind of like a big deal. Hey, I meant to ask you, Mike, did you watch Yellowstone at all, or no?
Yeah, I watched the season finale.
You did.
It's fine. It's good television. I think it's kind of like the season finale was a bit of a cop out.
Yeah, I did too. I kind of feel that way.
But tune in in a few months when you find out.
Right, and it's like
it's a life-changing event.
They're not dead. They're not dead. Not
all of them.
Why would
not any of them.
I mean,
you see Kevin Costner in season 4. The attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed.
It's not like they're doing something. It's not like they're going to do anything.
No,
I mean,
no.
It's not like they're going to do anything to those 3 characters at all. They're not going to do a thing.
They have no show. Why would you kill off?
That they don't have a.
Yeah, but it's all about who put the hit on them. Is it the
Yeah.
is it the adopted brother? Is it the Indians? Is it the business chick? Is it the evil dude with the slick back hair? Who is it? So that's what it's about, is who put the hit on him.
Well, I guess.
Who shot JR?
Exactly, in a way, in a sense.
Yeah, kind of.
But it was good. I'm still enjoying it. It's really good TV.
You know, I gotta tell you, I have not liked the direction that they've taken with Jamie at all this season. They finally basically, it was funny. I was talking to somebody about this today, where it's like, there's been this narrative within the Duttons about Jamie, and I kind of laugh because it's like, I don't agree with the narrative that they kept spinning, and now the writer's room has basically decided, yeah, we're going to make that true. And I'm like, this is so stupid. Why are you doing that? Is it you just you wanted the self-fulfilling prophecy? Is that what you wanted? Or why couldn't you make this character stand on his own and not be that character? Because he certainly wasn't until you started writing him that way and you made these decisions. And I'm like, this is such a cop-out. Why are you going this direction? Okay. But that's me. I don't know. I just feel like how many times we've seen in every show where it's okay, everybody gets shot and killed, and then nobody's dead.
Yeah, they didn't do that in Sopranos. The Sopranos is I think it's like episode 2 or episode 3 of the third or fourth season where Tony gets shot. And the next, he claims he thinks he's in purgatory, and then he recovers.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
mean, at least they do something like that. I mean, it's just like
for a season finale, it was like, the big cliffhanger. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good cliffhanger. It's almost formulaic, but still, it's I'm not hating it though.
I think that's my problem. It's like, okay,
it's falling into cliche.
It's kind of. I almost want to say. I mean, you're going to laugh at what I'm about to say. I feel like it just jumped the shark.
Okay.
It kind of jumped the shark there, where it's like,
but you're going to be there when season 4 premieres, so.
Yeah, but again, I'm kind of laughing about it a little bit because it's like, really? They sent out like a mafia-style hit team to like kill them all? To kill a whole bunch of cowboys? And it's like, okay.
Well.
It all seems laughable, really.
No.
When you think about it.
And then that's just the one line. It's like, I was thinking about it at work today afterward, like when the guy at the end was like, I'd rather kill 1,000 men and shoot another horse.
Yeah.
It's like,
whole weird thing with Rip was, that thing with Rip was weird.
And then like he had to get his mother's ring. I was like, oh, yeah, damn.
Like dig up
I didn't know
the
they
body.
like, you could, I'm sure you could request that, but like my dad had a necklace of St. Joseph. Or no, St. Christianson. What's his?
St. Christopher.
St. Christopher. Thank you, Ivan. Jesus, I can't. Ivan remembers, but I can't.
Don't ask me. I know nothing about that.
Anyway, it was St. Christopher. This is the patron saint. And he had a necklace that he had my entire life. He had it. And we made sure that he was buried with it. And, like, I'd be damned if I'm like, hey, Mr. Cemetery guy, could you, like, dig up my dad and get that necklace? I'm like, no, we're not going to. Nope.
Not happening.
No fucking way. But anyway, I was like,
at that
digs
point,
up.
She should have turned into, like, a zombie and, like, attacked.
No, she'd like put on a cowboy hat and do a square dance there at the cemetery.
Do a jig at the cemetery.
So anyway, but yeah, I'm liking Yellowstone. I think maybe I'll go back and watch a few episodes that I've missed, like all of them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, like I said, I ended up watching them.
I like all of them.
Well, it's funny because I watched them all on Peacock because they had it, like they had all of them just sitting there, and I'm like, all right, we'll start this, and it was like within like 3 weeks, it caught up to like season where we needed to be like towards the end of season 3.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. Yeah,
it's amazing how they promoted the DVD box set, like
yeah. Well, I was like, oh, hey, the DVD box
and
set.
People under 30 are like, what's that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's
hey, that's all for
audience
me.
is
That's
that
all for me.
show.
I'm all about the DVD box sets. I'm all about
Yeah,
that.
I have a feeling that the audience that they kind of skew towards.
Actually, I was in the store today, and I saw I had to get some groceries after work, and I saw that the season 1 box set or at least one DVD set of season 1 of Batwoman is out.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, but it's like I saw like one episode, and she was good in Crisis,
Right.
but I never. Did you follow that series at all?
Yeah, I watched it.
You watched all of Batwoman?
I watched the entire season. It was all right.
Yeah.
At times it was okay. At other times it wasn't. Yeah. There were places where I'm still curious how they plan on painting themselves out of the corner that they're in with what they're doing with bringing in an entirely new person as an entirely new character.
Yeah.
But yet you're going to keep a lot of the framework that you already had from season 1. And I'm like, what do you... We touched briefly last week about, of course, I don't know if you listened to last week's show, but we did touch briefly about how Ruby Rose has left the show just because an injury she sustained, that and the Rona. So yeah. Well, like I said, there's that. But speaking of that, I did watch. There's a limited series that Freeform and Hulu put together called The Life and Times of Corona. Is it Life and Time or Life and Love in the Time of Corona?
Okay.
It's a when I say limited, there's like 4 episodes.
Oh,
that's
not
it.
An episode. It's
and
a miniseries. It's not a season. 4 episodes is not a season to make.
Okay, fine. And it gets even shorter because they're half hours. Okay. The best way I can put it is, it's an interesting watch. It's light fare. There's a lot of humor to it. The best way to describe it is, Mike. See, the problem is I'm going to say this. Mike might remember this, and the irony is Mike will not remember this, and I know it. Which is, there was a show, I can't remember if it was the 90s or when it was. MTV had that show Undressed.
Nope, don't recall the show.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that to me. So there was a show by MTV called Undressed, and it's not that ridiculous, but at the same time, and it's a lot better than that. But at the same time, it has that quality to it where it's kind of like this quirkiness to it, and it just kind of does its thing and vibe, and it jumps from different stories to here or there, and
so it's like vignettes, or
not
or they're just
vignettes.
like concurrent subplots or whatever.
Yeah, but a lot of it isn't connected. It's like different stories, and like I said, if you've ever seen Undressed from MTV, it's kind of like one of those. Except it's a lot better than Undressed, and unfortunately, I shouldn't say that. There's definitely some risque content to it, but not no boobies or anything like that or anything along those lines. So, you're not going to get boobage or anything like that.
What network? How'd you watch this on?
Like I said, it was on free. I caught it on Freeform. I still have one more episode to watch, but Hulu's got it as well, so you can pick it up on Hulu or Freeform. I think I liked it. I give it a recommendation. It's a nice 4-episode watch. That at least if you're looking for something to watch right now. Yeah,
and it's relatable. It's
right,
topical.
And
it's current.
It's like you got to give some examples. You've got this guy and this girl who live together, but the guy is kind of binary in between, and the girl is there, but then there's another guy that she's looking at who's next door, but they're not doing anything with that yet. And then there's another family where it's the wife and the husband look like they're splitting up, and they haven't told the daughter yet, and the daughter went out and they found out, and the reason they found out was because the husband's girlfriend caught it on Instagram, and she found the thing on Instagram about him, and oh my God, my father is having an affair, which is not what's happening at all. And then there's the one family that's talking about having more kids, but they're not sure. And like I said, it's a bunch of little stories that you get the idea. I don't know that any of them are really going to truly tie together, but they're quirky and they're fun, and there's some humor to it, and there's stuff it's relatable. So, I like I said, it was fun.
Okay.
I still haven't finished Brave New World yet, and I want to, but I haven't had a chance.
Is the season out?
Oh yeah, it's been out.
It's been out. Okay. All right.
It's been out. It's on. It's been Peacock. Like I said, I just haven't gotten to finishing it yet. I'm about five. I want to say 5 episodes in.
All right. We're running a little long today, so why don't we just hit the bullet points of Fandome, and then whatever news we can wrap up.
Wrong, huh?
This all dropped on Saturday. Well, actually, Monday. The full teaser for Black Adam dropped today, but most of it dropped on Saturday when I was at work. So I spent Saturday night watching all these DC trailers.
Right. So, I'm assuming Ivan didn't see any of them, but I'm just curious, Mike. Any thoughts on? I'll start with you. Any thoughts on any of the trailers that you saw? And then
Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84. Yes, please. Yeah. Now. Right now.
Yeah, that's the movie where I'm sitting there going, I might actually have to go to a movie theater. That's the movie. That's the one.
Actually, Bill and Ted 3 drops on Friday.
Yeah, but I heard it's going to be available on stream.
Okay. I thought it was just in theaters only, but...
No, I saw something that said it's going to be available streaming. Okay. And in fairness, I just don't know that... I don't know. I think I can wait a couple of months, just like I can wait for Tenet too.
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry for any of those right now.
Suicide Squad, I didn't finish the first Suicide Squad. I have the Blu-ray over there, and I'm pointing to my right over to my television. Mm-hmm. But I have the disc of Suicide Squad 1, but I might want to watch it so I can watch the new Suicide Squad, because James Gunn, and he's a genius, and just for King Shark.
I don't think you're going to need to.
I think King Shark would be enough for me to be like, okay, and I think I need to watch this.
I don't think you're going to need to know much about the previous Suicide Squad based on how they're doing this.
All right.
I think it's just because really in reality there's only 2 characters that are continuing on, which is the guy who plays Boomerang, and obviously Margot Robbie's there for Harley Quinn. But in fairness, they were going to have Will Smith in there too, but Will Smith had a scheduling conflict and couldn't make it work. That's the only reason why Will Smith is not in the movie. John Cena is playing Peacemaker. And that's the weird part about it is I'm looking at a lot of the characters that are listed that they're playing, and I'm like, look, I'm a DC Comics fan, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
These are some really deep cuts. Like,
there's the
third, fourth, and fifth tier.
We're not even talking third or fourth tier. We're on like tier 5 and 6. I'm like, my favorite is there's one that says Ratcatcher 2. I'm like, really? Really? Is he going to be called Ratcatcher 2? Are you serious about that? I just kind of like,
Let's see. What else? The Suicide Squad trailer, or Wonder Woman 84, the Patterson Batman.
I wasn't as thrilled as everybody else.
I didn't get a good look at Riddler. I didn't get a good look at...
right. Did you?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
I felt like the entire trailer was like... It was hard to catch what was...
And without the green pantsuit with the question marks all over him. It's like, man, and no Frank Gorshin giggle.
You're not getting that.
No, I know I'm not getting that. I know where I can go to get it, but I know I'm not getting
apparently,
that.
Apparently, this is the part where apparently Colin Farrell's playing the Penguin. I'm like, Colin Farrell playing a Penguin? What? I don't know. I'm not against it.
I'm still in for watching. You know what I'm really excited about is the video game, the Gotham Knights. I would watch the cutscenes from this video game. And I would just watch that because I'm not a gamer anymore, not really. But like Gotham Knights, the CG, that looks great. That sounds like an awesome story.
The other one, I don't think you saw it. The other one is the Suicide Squad game, where apparently they have to take out the Justice League, and I'm like, Now that would be I'm like, good luck doing that, but okay.
I can see how that could be a good challenge.
Yep, that's a serious challenge right there.
Yeah. But yeah, the Gotham Knights
dancing,
game looks awesome.
Yeah.
I wish that was an animated movie, not a game.
It's interesting because they are talking about the Long Halloween coming out as an animated film, which would be really, really good. It's
and
it's one of the better Batman stories in the last 20 years.
I think Adult Swim just had they showed an animated year one. Meant to see that. But also the Man of Tomorrow dropped today, which is another good Superman story.
So let's.
I'd really like to see. I'm sure I might watch that from this week, if I don't forget to do Stargirl.
So let's get to the obvious.
Yep.
Let's get to the obvious. I'm sorry. Nothing I saw makes me any more excited about the Snyder Cut. Nothing makes me, and the music was horrible. I mean, it's like, what the?
Yeah, they used Hallelujah or whatever.
Yeah.
Les Mis.
Which
is not an upbeat film, by the way.
It's not even that. It's like almost like facetious. It's like this giant. It's like a giant middle finger to like the rest of us about I get to do what I wanted to do in the end anyway. Okay, whatever. I mean, dude.
I just want to see how they do Superman differently. That's what I'm most curious about. How they do.
That's the sad part. I probably will in the end watch this thing.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. For all your bitching, we're still gonna drop our ducats and watch it.
Yeah, you guys are gonna spend your money.
I don't know that I will. I don't know that I will. I gotta be honest with you. Because I don't. Am I gonna? No, because it's not just drop your ducats. It's okay. Am I paying for a month of HBO Max? I don't know that I want to pay for a month.
Was it $7? Come on.
No, it's not.
Was it 10?
Try like 15.
$15 a month?
Yeah. But now, in fairness, it does include HBO, regular HBO.
You'll do it.
I don't know.
You'll drop your ducats. You'll drop.
No way. No way. I gotta be honest.
Because you're not going to trust the reviews when people start watching it.
Oh, well, I know the reviews are going to be bullshit.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to sit there and fawn over it and be like, oh, isn't it amazing, isn't it wonderful? And I'm going to be like,
bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. It's not that. You know what?
And the trailer did not instill any more interest for me, but I'm curious if anything at this point. And now we still get more news about Ray Fisher being all about the thinly veiled threat of his career or whatever from Snyder.
And I got to tell you.
And launched an investigation.
I think that's part of where my annoyance comes in, is that it's like this whole between this Ray Fisher thing and look, I liked Ben Affleck's Batman, but now he's going to be back and he's going to be part of this Batman
Flashpoint
Flash movie.
Yeah.
This Flashpoint Flash movie. And now Snyder gets to do the movie and he gets extra money to do even more shit to make a movie that he should have just fucking did it right the first time.
But he was hamstringed by the studio.
Yes and no. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, just the whole giant thing feels like a giant. If you're not on board with his shit, it's like a giant fuck you.
It's a giant dildo.
Did we get any more news about season 3 of Titans?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Apparently, the Scarecrow is going to be a villain.
Ooh.
We're going to get Barbara Gordon.
Oh, good.
We're going to get Barbara Gordon. I don't know which Barbara Gordon we're getting. If we're getting Oracle Barbara Gordon or if we're getting Batgirl Barbara Gordon. Jason Todd's going to turn into the Red Hood.
Yep.
Which should be amusing because basically they're going in an entirely different direction to do that. And then, But I know Blackfire's supposed to be a big villain. That season
it was
two.
supposed to, that was the big setup all of part of season 2.
But they're talking about that they're going to be parts of the series that are going to take place in Gotham. So
I'm not fully sold on this guy who plays Bruce Wayne. Well, he's okay.
Well, keep in mind he's never going to be Batman. Is
right.
the trick here? I don't expect him to see him in a Batman uniform ever.
No, he won't.
And that's part of the
because he's taken the back seat to let these youngsters do their stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not thrilled with.
And how they're going to sing, how they're going to bring back Donna Troy.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that doesn't really happen or not, too. I mean, that was one of the things I kind of found amusing is, see, that's the other problem. The other problem is because Cyborg is not part of the show.
Is he still with Doom Patrol?
Yeah, he's technically in the Doom Patrol, but it's not Ray Fisher.
Right. It's
not Ray Fisher.
No.
Which I kind of laugh about. Which I wonder if that's. Well, I wonder if they would replace him with the other guy. Anyway, but he's technically still in that show. But yeah, the fact that Cyborg didn't end up in the Titans, that means that you had to figure out some other benefactor, because really in reality Titans Tower was created by Vic Stone's dad to make amends to Vic after what happened, and that's where some of their funding comes from Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne and all that stuff, but not to the extent that it is in the show. And I'm like, too much Batman. I mean,
yeah, it was a lot of bad, and we're going to get it more of Superboy.
Well, and so the only other major thing about that whole thing was they kind of explained that all these movies that are standalone, that basically they're making it like there's a multiverse. And so really in reality, if it doesn't fit in, it's just part of the multiverse. And that could be an advantage, that could be a disadvantage. I kind of wish that there were certain movies, though, that they would denote not part of the multiverse.
Yeah. I remember this. I saw one still. I was scrolling through my Facebook feed. Apparently, there's the one picture of in the '89 Batman film where they're trashing the museum. There's a painting that is also in the Joker movie. It's in the living room of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Like, that's the same
thing. Is it really?
Yeah. So, like, okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
I see that kind of tie-in, but, I mean, it all doesn't have to, the threads don't always have to connect. I mean, we get it.
Yeah, but would I like to see a more cohesive DC cinematic universe? Yeah, I would.
Yeah. But it's like something you just like to stretch far between. Like the Flashpoint movie, they said, but Michael Keaton might come back. It's like,
Well, that's the other part I laugh about is it's like they're going to have, like they could end up with 3 Batmans in that movie. And I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, last time I checked, isn't this a movie about the Flash?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, okay, it's like, are you making a Flash movie or are you making something else? Because this doesn't sound like the Flash. And by the way, I will say this: if Ben Affleck's back to play Batman, can we finally get Ben Affleck's Batman movie? Are we finally going to let him write and script and direct the Batman movie that he wanted to do? Warner Brothers shit all over.
He's too old, man. It's too late.
No, that's perfect.
Oh.
That's perfect. I want old Batman. Maybe he could be, now Bruce Willis is too old. Maybe we could get Dark Knight Batman from Ben Affleck.
Or I'd be more excited about a Batman Beyond.
I'm not as excited about it. I'm more worried that they're going to screw that up. If anything.
Well, the other news that came from Fandome is that they might. I guess there's a Static Shock movie in the works.
Yeah, and Milestones, and they're bringing back the Milestone books, which is a huge deal.
I remember watching a few episodes of that on the animated series.
Right, there's that. But again, you know, there was more than just that character in Milestone. Static is the most well known, but you know, there was Hardware and Icon and you know, some other characters that never really got nearly the publicity or the acknowledgement, and obviously Static was the one that's gotten away. But yeah, a Static movie would be worthwhile. I think it'd be cool. I kind of wish that, well, I kind of wish that the Milestone universe would be integrated with the DC universe, but I don't know that that's really going to happen or not. Just like, it's funny, the Wildstorm universe has never been truly integrated with the DC universe either, which is Jim Lee's stuff, but we'll leave that alone too. Jim Lee was everywhere on that thing too, by the way. I mean, everywhere. But I heard good things. I heard good things from a lot of people, that it was really enjoyable. I didn't watch it, but I heard good stuff. That people enjoyed it and it was entertaining, and, you know, they did a Wonder Woman panel where they had, like, all the cast of Wonder Woman there, and they had Linda Carter. You know.
It's cool.
So that one. But, there's only one other thing I wanted to bring up before we get out of here.
Okay.
Because I just about was like, my first reaction when I saw it was, no, that's a really bad idea. My next reaction after I saw it was, you know what? Yeah, I want it. Not only do I want it, I want it right now. Yeah, I want it right now. And I want to see this, because if it's done right, it could be a lot of fun. Apparently, get this, the CW is in the process of developing a live action Powerpuff Girls show.
Okay. Shrug. Didn't they try to bring it back in the late 90s?
Yeah, they did.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
they did, and it was abysmal.
Yeah.
It could be, but again, honestly, live action, depending on what they do with it, like if they age them a little bit and make them teens, and if you remember that it's the hokey bullshit, and not take
they get like
seriously,
Fuzzy Lumpkins and all the crazy rogues gallery they had.
Right, but
I mean, if it was kind of a mix between, if it had that Riverdale-ish feel to it, but it didn't take itself seriously.
It certainly did not. Sometimes they did do like the dark kind of right, you know. I remember this one episode where they're racing they're having a race to get back home, and they slipped through a time portal, and they found themselves in a apocalyptic future where there were no Powerpuff Girls and the villains ran rampant, and there was some dark stuff in there. I remember there's some that, like, Getty Tartakovsky stuff was really, really dark. But yeah, there was
they won't have the budget for that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'd have to see the images from the film first to pass judgment.
I don't think it's a film. I'm talking about TV.
Yeah. Oh, live action series.
We're talking about live action CW.
Okay. All right. We'll look at it. I don't know.
My biggest question is, how do you look? I know
how do you do Mojo Jojo?
Yeah. I know the Flash. The Flash. Well, there's every time they talk about how come we can't get Grodd more often, the answer is
CG.
We can't afford to have Grodd for more than a couple episodes a season.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, how the fuck do you do Mojo Jojo? Because
give a guy in a monkey suit? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
You would have to CGI that particular.
You'd have to do a lot of with Dr. Claw, and just have him like in the dark, like in the shadows, like only have really like tease the reveals or whatever.
Something where all you see is like his one hand. He's behind a desk. He's looking at a screen.
Right. Well, they could kind of fake it with some practical effects for like in the shadows or whatnot, but for the like fight scenes or whatever, then you have to pull the stops out for CG. But yeah,
right.
He's their definitive villain is Mojo Jojo.
Right, and that's the headache. That's the part where I'm like, okay. And here's my concern. Here's my concern. Like, I don't know if you guys remember near the end of Smallville when they decided to do Doomsday for Smallville. And what they did was they made a guy who played Doomsday, and then he eventually morphed into Doomsday. But most of the season, he was just a guy.
Right.
And they kind of worked it along until finally he turned
got
into Doomsday.
all the spikes on him and kryptonite body or whatever.
Right. But it took them all the way until near the end of the season to kind of do that. And that's my fear.
That's too long a tease, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's my fear. My fear is someone's going to sit there and go, "Oh, we'll just make Mojo Jojo a human being." It's like, well, then that defeats.
No, Mojo Jojo started as a monkey.
I know.
He was Professor X's. He was Professor's pet monkey.
And you don't think that they could take liberties with something like, okay, Mojo Jojo is his assistant. That happened. He's just not a monkey, or he's not a monkey yet.
Or he became super intelligent. Yeah.
Right. He's not a monkey yet.
I don't know, but you're taking. Yeah, but you're taking a lot of the original elements away when you start going ahead humanizing Mojo Jojo. You know, it's kind of like everybody.
Well, they can't train him. Well, that or they just get a well-trained monkey for some scenes in the beginning. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm interested, but
Ivan, I wouldn't be shocked if they. I guess keep in mind you're talking about TV, so you're going to make a character out of him rather than what you see in a cartoon. So yeah, it's possible they could make him more of a human. You know, like for example, he took some sort of thing. He is super smart, but over time he starts developing
some monkey
into
DNA or something.
Mutates into a monkey or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Like I said, it's
sure.
There's a part of me where I'm like I said, if they treat it like Riverdale, or like if they use it, if they have like kind of like Riverdale like stories, but yet it's a lot more family friendly. You know what the best way to put it is? If you kind of took Stargirl and Riverdale and mixed it with some 90210, but understood that it's going to be soapy and campy on purpose because that's what the Powerpuff Girls are, it could work. It could work. It could be a great show.
I'm not denying.
It could be a really great show. Oh, no, I understand. I'm just saying that's how I would do it.
Okay.
But the question is what they're going to do. And, yeah, my problem when I was thinking about it out loud was, okay, what do you plan on doing about Mojo Jojo? Because it's not like you're going to have this ridiculous, you're going to have to, with all their powers and shit, you're going to have to have a budget.
Him? Like, that'd be a lot of CG in that guy.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even talking about the girls. We're not even talking about the girls and all the stuff that they...
their powers, yeah.
Yeah, and all the stuff that they do.
Or the Amoeba Boys, that'd have to be all CG. Maybe the Green Gang they could do without CG.
Yeah, but you're looking at it, overall, that's a lot of CG they would have to get involved in, and
that's why they're going to turn them. That's why they're going to turn them into humans. They're going to have to turn a lot of this stuff into humans when
they start out.
When they start out or something, or something weird like that,
Where they just kind of morph into other things.
Yeah.
Or maybe they stay human, and that I don't know. I'm a little confused by that too when I heard the words live action, because I'm like, I mean, the only other thing would be you do a shortened season. You do shortened season on a regular basis. You up the budget a little bit, and so you can have what you need.
Yep.
Because I mean, even with I kind of laugh. Think about it this way: as much as we talk about how up the budget was for Stargirl, we didn't see Solomon Grundy much in that season at all.
No, like he was maybe like a grand total of 30 seconds.
Well, in the finale, I will tell you this: in the final episode, he's in it a lot.
Okay.
But
yeah, the finale, obviously, where they put the budget in.
Right, but the point being is for most of the season, you see a few scenes here or there of Solomon Grundy. That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot of scenes with Solomon Grundy all season, and they had budget. So,
yeah, but then it also.
Hey, Ivan, whoa. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Oh, I said that with that in mind, and yeah, you could have budget on any project and everything, but the money has got to be distributed in the many different directions. They might have not had it for that to happen with Grundy.
Solomon Grundy hates Super Friends.
But the point I'm getting at it, Ivan, is let me give you an example of what I'm saying. You saw more of Grundy in this particular 13-episode arc than you will see in an entire 20-something episode arc of The Flash with Grodd. They had more budget for this show than
they did for a season of The Flash, which was longer.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, not only is it longer, keep in mind it was originally a DC Universe show too. So they had a different budget for this type of show. Like I said, this is why when Stargirl Season 2 happens, I'm very curious to see how this is going to work.
I just like to see if they put this much budget into Titans so we could see like more Starfire or Raven's powers.
You'd think so.
Well,
you'd think.
You would think they'd want to do it with especially with Raven and Starfire's powers.
Although Raven was the focus of a lot of season 1, and we did see a lot of that stuff, but not so much with Stargirl. I was like kind of disappointed with that.
Yeah, well, they need to. Well, Starfire.
I mean Starfire, but yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, but Starfire, it's just like don't worry about it.
Well, come on. I mean, you watch the show. How much does Beast Boy do anything?
Exactly. He becomes a tiger for that's it. And
yeah. It's like they spent their
got
budget
the trained
on
tiger, so they'll use the tiger.
Right. And all he does is turn into a tiger on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think one time he might have been a snake, and that's it.
Right. Right. And that's because they had budget for that. Otherwise, they don't have budget for this shit. I mean, it's like...
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the jokes I always had about the Titans stuff, is it's like, you won't give us a legitimate animated Titans, but you'll give us this show where they don't have nearly the budget
to
do it right.
Right.
That's why I was always like, no, give us a movie. Give us a movie!
Yeah. That's okay. So, we got anything else before we head out?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe, when to get new content. And check us out on our podcast hosting platforms, and of course, well as our extra show, News of the Squared. Shout out to Scott! And you can download this show on PodBean, Anchor, Apple, Google, Spotify. You can watch Ivan's DJ gigs on Twitch.tv or download the app. That's Jivan Ivan. That's JAVANIVAN. That's Java and Ivan. And, of course, email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com. Oh, yeah, and one last thing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Ivan. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, but... But one last little note before we go. By the way, here's what I got going on after this session is released. Okay, I'm going to be making an appearance on the spinning wheel on Wednesday. Okay, and that'll be
Wednesday the 26th.
Wednesday the 26th.
Well, it's right now, actually. The show drops on the 26th, though.
Okay, so yeah, so I'll be on the spinning wheel on the 26th. Okay, I'll be playing a daytime session. Look to Instagram or Facebook for details. Also, we'll be doing my last Friday freeform wacky stacks on Friday on Twitch. I'll be doing the Scooter Sound supporting the National Health Service on Saturday, and that'll be 4 to 6 our time here in Central Standard Time, And then Sunday, I'm doing a spinning wheel, also late session from 4 to 6, which will be going over Facebook as well. So yeah, those are the last 4 times I will be on the air as far as like the virtual disc jockey performances, and then I'm taking a hiatus for a month, and it will return in October 1st. So if you haven't had an opportunity to hang around and get your fill of 45s, well, you got 4 more opportunities to fill yourself up with 45s before I go beyond the blue horizon.
So subscribe to Ivan on Twitch.
Yes, please. So until then, take care, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on the Squares of the Round Table. I'm Jivan Ivan, and of course, on behalf of Mike and Jeff, we wish you a great daytime, nighttime, or evening time, whatever time you're going to get this time. Well, hey, I hope you have a great time. Thank you.